Alright, so this is not exactly poetry. However, to me it's like poetry. It's little statements which trigger something within us, and it certainly got that effect on me. I'll just give you a little example of that. There are no diseases, there is only indulging. That spoke to me when I read that about 25 years ago. It spoke to me. You only have a disease if there is an indulgence happening. And in this day and age, there's lots of indulgence, and that's why there's lots of disease. Moving on, the topic tonight is called the tricks of time. And once you can comprehend what time is all about, or from a more grand perspective, then you can use it in a more practical way. And an example is, we could say that life is like a book. You can pick it up and you look at it in the back or the front, or you can skip through it to any page. But for you to live that life, you have to go through it one page at a time. It's actually much more complex than a book. It's actually a lot more like an interactive video game, right? Because you've got lots of choices on every page. And so I'll just go through some basics and then go on some practicalities which I've used in the workshop, how you can use time in a more effective manner. The illusion of time, that is. Well, the paradox of time is that every instant is too short to measure, and yet it's both infinite and eternal. In other words, if you try and measure the moment, you have to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and you can't get there. You know, it's less than 1 second, it's less than a millisecond or a microsecond or a nanosecond, or even less than a femtosecond. You have to go so short, and you just can't get there. It's because the moment is the instant, and the instant is too short to measure.
Now.
It's now, yes, that's right. And yet, it lasts forever. Right? It can't be measured because it's too short, and yet it's here all the time. So that's the paradox of time. There is no rush to get anywhere when you're in the half space of eternal. Right? So if we're rushing everywhere and all that sort of thing. But if you're in eternity, what's the rush? Another concept. Time and eternity are both in your mind and will conflict until you perceive time solely as a means to gain eternity or regain eternity. Right? So time is an illusion. I'll go into some of the Einstein stuff in a moment, where time is an illusion. So is space, apparently. And it's a product of mind. You know, that's necessary for us to go through page by page. Right? So it is a useful quantity. Eternity is one time, and its only dimension is always. Anyway, that speaks to me. There's so much to share on this. Einstein said, time and space are not conditions in which we live, but modes by which we think. Physical concepts are free creations of the human mind, and are not, however it may seem, determined by the external world. So your external world is actually a reflection of what's going on inside. He also said time does not exist. We invented it. Time is what the clock says. The distinction between the past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. Yeah, well, maybe the sages of old have been telling us this for thousands of years, or however long you want to go back. Einstein comes to these conclusions in a very special way that we can all use. And what he said was, I think 99 times and find nothing. I stop thinking, swim in silence, and the truth comes to me.
That's it.
Yeah. It's a very effective way to be creative, let's say. That's the source of
The 99 times of thinking are very important to get the one where you're not.
Perhaps, yeah.
That's the thing.
Have you heard of the saying, don't forget what it is?
Your time's up.
Yeah. There's a very powerful saying. Oh, yes, I think so that I
think therefore I am.
I think therefore I am. There's a problem with that, and you can unravel the problem with that to say, I think therefore I am confused. That's the problem with the intellect. It takes you to a place which is illusory. However, the illusion is necessary for us to get through life. Yeah, it is necessary, because once you awaken, then there's no point being here anymore. Another practical element that you can use once you understand these very simple little concepts is, well, if you're not present in a conversation, if you're thinking about what you did 2 days ago or you're doing 3 days in the future, you're not going to comprehend what is being said.
You're not being conscious in the moment.
That's right, yes. Right. So you can use time more effectively by being in the moment rather than in the illusory past or the illusory future. The past is gone. You don't need it anymore, right?
But Einstein said it was an illusion.
Well, he did, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the present moment now is the only point of power. It's the only thing that really exists. Another practical aspect. If you don't live your life by the clock, then you don't age. How useful is that?
Bring it on.
That's why I'm young.
Really.
That's right, yeah. One day you might decide to leave the incarnation.
Only if you decide.
But you can make it, it becomes a choice instead of something that's forced on you. Be in the moment. Another part of your journey, because it doesn't end there as far as I'm concerned. It's just to accept rather than fight something which you've already pre-programmed at some level, a very deep level. Is that a sound to say sit down?
Yes. Bill actually drew
Was that a long speech or a short speech?
Yeah. I mean, there's so much here, and I could
You have to stop him, guys. Go on all night.
Yeah.
That was all right. It was interesting, but very good.
Maybe I should just do one more and then I'll run away.
Don't run away.
Well, this one relates to the law. And we can say that the only divine parts of creation is whatever is permanent. If it's not permanent, it's not divine. It's a product of the ego. And most of the time, that's where we are. Only divine law is permanent. Human law is impermanent and derives jurisdiction from ignorance only. Right? So, again, that's poetry for me because it's very profound. I find it. Thank you very much.
Good on you, mate. Thank you.
Well, linguistically speaking, if you don't have words that describe the future, like we'll do, and that describe the past that did and done, and if you had no prepositions like at, on, in, it'd be hard to comprehend time. And then linguistically speaking, other languages use their grammar differently. I today, or I do something today, or I do something tomorrow, or I do something right now, depending on where you're from. But anyway, this is something I wrote on my birthday. It began at a one-dimensional point. It moved so that it could compare itself and became two-dimensional on a plane. Then, in order to gain more perspective, it decided to become three-dimensional in a space. After that, decided to add a fourth dimension called time as it spiraled through space at a time. Then the electromagnetic energy manifested as a field effect, and a fifth dimension manifested with a sound, and after that it evolved and the sixth dimension was born, the seventh, eighth, ninth dimensions. And the human brain has been shown to think in 11 dimensions. It became the 233rd dimensional being, and it became even more. That's it. I suppose that's my report, my time report. Yeah, that is it. What is time? We're right here, right now. On that note, I'm going to invite Margot up, and then Gabriel, and then Paul, and Ashton, and James, and
No, I'll pass.
you'll pass, okay? And so, are you?